It's another Valentine's Day horror film, which means someone else is gonna get their heart pierced by a slasher killer. Only this one is just called Valentine and not my bloody Valentine, so he'll be nice enough to keep his slashings bloodless. Or it's that the movie went through numerous trims to cut a lot of the bloody violence. The studio was the real butcher this whole time. This is a 2001 horror film, which shares some things in common with I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yes, there's revenge, there's letters, but both are based on books that have F all to do with the movie. In fact, I think Lois Duncan's I Know What You Did Last Summer had the more faithful adaptation, because at least that had a similar setup and the character names were the same as in the book. This one, however, is supposedly based on Tom Savage's 1996 novel, where the producer, Dylan Sellers, only wanted to purchase the rights for the title, and that's it. Not even the characters' names are the same. The book was a much more interesting story about a romance novelist who is stalked by a lovesick killer, whereas this goes more the terror train and slaughter high route of the loser kid picked on at school and then years later gets revenge on those who rejected him. Add in the nuclear holocaust and it's more of an adaptation of my book than Tom Savage's. Oh, and I love that they still put "now a major motion picture" on the cover. The balls on this studio. But the movie does some things differently. I mean, at least the poster wasn't the usual stock late 90s, early 2000s horror poster. Relax, they fixed that once it went to VHS. Like these were the YA movies of their time. It has some connections to other horror movies of the time too, as it was directed by Jamie Blanks of Urban Legend, shot by Rick Boda. I know him! He directed 3 of the Hellraiser direct-to-video sequels. And as for the writers, well, the movie went through multiple production companies and multiple writers too, as 4 people ended up taking a pass at this, including Gretchen J. Berg and Aaron Harberts, producers on Roswell, which Katherine Heigl was known for at the time, plus Wayne and Donna Powers of Deep Blue Sea. Why so much trouble for this fairly straightforward slasher concept? Just adapt the book as it was, or set it in a mine. That'll cut down on your locations. The movie opened to only so-so box office and terrible reviews, but is it really that bad, or were the critics just simply single at the time? Let's find out.
I'm watching my video. I'm watching my video. Oh, watching my video. Sure looks good to me.
Let's start this movie with caution. The red filter means this will be a really bloody horror film. If it were green, then I'd know it was a sci-fi flick. There may be a lot of backstory here, but let's just shrewdly edit it into the opening credits.
Dance with me? In your dreams, loser.
Great, I'm watching Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2 if it were a Disney Channel original movie. I don't blame them for turning him down, considering his style choices.
Would you dance with me? I'd rather be boiled alive.
Shit, ultimate mistake to wear Jeffrey Dahmer chic. I'm sure eventually Jeremy here will find his Jenny who will let him sit next to her on the bus.
Do you want to dance with me?
Well, could be worse. I could be with the student who dresses like Bobo the Clown. The bullies are rejecting him too! Whatever, dudes. Jeremy's getting way more action than you at this prom, and yet he's still getting turned down and lied about.
Pervert at it again. Perv attack you?
Yeah, Jeremy attacked me.
Hey, I wasn't planning on making a coat out of your skin until way later in the evening. Some bullies you are. You're just dumping punch on him? What, are they drinking the pig's blood instead? This dance has everything in reverse. And where the hell are the chaperones? We only had one location and we can't shoot in the parking lot. So just have the making out scene and the fighting all take place right in the gym. It's 13 years later later, whoa, you haven't given me nearly enough time on this backstory to give a shit. Now it's a Katherine Heigl rom-com where she's on a date with a guy who refers to himself in the third person.
Jason looks for an attractive young woman because he wants healthy children.
Jason has some, spinach in his teeth.
Oh.
Jason's getting upset! If I just came into the movie in this scene, I would be thinking, when is Gerard Butler gonna show up and offer her vibrating panties? And why are they still talking like they're in high school?
You know, Jason, I'm not a doctor yet, but it's my considered opinion you seek psychiatric help.
Says you.
What do you think, audience? Nailed it. I was on the verge of dropping an as if. God, following this guy around would also lead to another horror film.
Jason likes your dress.
Well, she's getting a nail gun to the back of the head. Catherine has a stiffer date waiting at the office, ready to spring into action. No one understands me like you do, dead body. You'll never stick me with the bill at a restaurant. That's because we'd both get thrown out first. If I'm gonna believe that this is a horror film and not a romance, I'm gonna need a stupid jump scare. The hell? Why did you just jump out at me like that in the dark? When she gets the first card explicitly stating that someone knows what she did 13 years ago and hasn't gotten over it, it shows that the killer upped his game in the card department. The fisherman took 2 seconds to write some shit down. This killer makes a pop-up book out of it. And this killer has weird ways of taunting his victims. I only have a minute. I need to swap myself out with the body and stick it in the closet. The corpse is still fine. He can still have an open casket funeral, whoever the hell this is. Dude works quick. He already found himself another hiding spot and had the time to put his shirt back on, and with his bitchin' coat. And as for that cherub mask, what? He looks like a kid dug up from the pet cemetery who's somehow still aged. And he's completely ruining all of these other fresh corpses. Hey, this was gonna be an open shirt casket until you punctured his abs that were still perfect in death. So is Katherine Heigl gonna be the Casey from Scream character who dies in the opening? Oh, yep, that was quick. That must mean Denise Richards' character Paige will be the Sydney of the group. Pretty much, no joke, her last name in the movie is Prescott, and Katherine Heigl's Shelley wasn't the only one having guy trouble.
Adam's a drunk. He's not a drunk. He's a borderline addictive personality who happens to like alcohol a lot.
Ugh, I regret giving you that politically correct words of the day calendar. Although I do kinda like that the movie has multiple moments where if you were channel surfing, you'd still think it was a date movie. Cue the speed dating montage.
The girl's gotta be a dyke.
Greatest team in the history of professional football, 49ers!
When's Gina gonna show up? And why do they all look like serial killers?
I know what you're thinking.
That you're a red herring because you look a little like the kid at the beginning. Luckily, they get the bad news that Shelley is dead. Oh, it can't be. It's been decades and I'm still not over this Shelley. I didn't even know they were all still close. They never had any group scenes together, and they weren't even standing with each other in the prologue either. Her boyfriend, Adam, will be there to console her. Thank God. That means this case will go right to an episode of Bones and be solved within the hour. If only he could give up the backseat drinking.
Look, I haven't touched a thing in 3 weeks. I'm doing really good, Kate.
No, you're not. You're the killer. Maybe he's learned to kiss better since high school. Ugh, I just went dry watching that. After 20 minutes, this group of friends finally has a scene together.
Sorry.
Jesus, Paige, it's a funeral.
What?
You all nominated me to be the Samantha of the group, and that's what I'm doing. Not only is Shelley gone, but the guy she was on the date with is missing.
You know anyone by the name of Jason Marquette? Shelley was with him the night that she died. Now he's missing.
I'm sure he's just driving to some remote location with this girl in his trunk. As for the killer, he's gotta be someone who had enough time to make these cards.
They'll need dental records to identify you.
Jesus, my dentist's office is hardcore about sending out reminders. Some people send flowers or chocolates. This one sends more red herrings. I had to look up, by the way, to confirm that Dorothy here was the girl at the beginning. As for her boyfriend Campbell, who's shacking up with her, who cares? He's not the killer. And why is it a Real Housewives episode now?
Don't talk about my sex life.
You have a sex life?
Yeah, I do. And I don't charge by the hour like you.
Hey, I charge by the minute! If only this was one of Jessica Capshaw's mom's films, then I would understand the friendship of the leads way better. The rogues in Windy City were all incredibly close until they formed their Fuck Saul pact. Actually, thinking about it, Saul had way more of a reason to want to turn into a slasher villain. The killer here, you said no to dancing with me 13 years ago, so I'm just gonna make eerie phone calls with a weak signal.
Hello? Hello?
He's driving through a tunnel. He was gonna ask her what her favorite scary movie is, and she was gonna say Urban Legends Final Cut. Bias, you're in that film. And why do they need speed dating and now video dating? They seem to have no problem getting dates, unless they're looking for someone who loves product placement as much as them. Waiting to see if these potential partners mention either Captain Crunch or Pepsi. The editing is weird. I thought they were in their own apartments watching videos. I didn't know until this wide shot that they were in the same room together. That works out for the killer. He only has to pay for one stamp this time. My God, I spot an E and an N in this paragraph. Mr. Enigma. Go for it. Eat the candy from strangers. Must be from the 75% off rack the day after Valentine's Day. But meanwhile, in the substance, whatever we do, let's not talk to anyone who will sell us an injection that will require body horror effects. Like this guy. Nope, you have resting cover your drinks with a napkin face. Is there anyone here we can trust?
Hi, Max and Kate.
Hello, Kate.
Ah, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ! Thank heavens you're here! Actor Johnny Whitworth has a bitchin' style and he sticks to it. I worked too hard at being your messiah to shave this glorious beard. Let's go ahead and take a break. It doesn't matter what conversations I cut off. I don't care about any of these people.
Valentine's Day brings back the girls' lost love.
Oh no, you're back.
And on 227,
He's a crook!
but it's Pee-wee to the rescue.
Saturday.
We're back, and I guess this art show is also some kind of weird dating event where the girls have to go to one side of the room and the guys on the other. Yes, that's great. I always wanted a junior high dance to take place in a Beverly Hills party from less than zero. Hey, you're breaking the rules! You said we had to split up the sexes. I am calling your old homeroom teacher to put a stack of books between you two. Oh, but her punishment will be much worse. It's nice of Artsy Christ to make an exhibit for a crowd of people that one person could get lost in, like it's a hedge maze where no one will see Cupid shoot his arrow. Hey, that almost hit me! This video photo spread is gonna be my big break! I still feel like there should be more stunt work. If we could put the exhibit near the emergency exit, that would be great. Dang, she's missing out on people they went to college with. Hetty Barres is here. I ain't seen you since we were hanging out in the Boston Common. Where's your brother Boyd? Anyway, take care of that bloody nose quickly so you can teleport right into the next scene in the middle of a date.
You drink, and you get out of control, and it scares me.
I've stopped. I've changed.
Ever since I lost Buffy in the 4th of July pageant, it gave me the courage to get sober. Can we get someone from that universe to help us out? Well, Detective Vaughn here was also a cop in the 90s TV movie I Know What You Did. Close enough, he'll do. I like this guy. He's already had enough of their shit.
You both received threatening notes signed JM, and after I tell you I'm looking for Jason Marquette, you don't think to mention it?
Are we supposed to keep track of everyone we meet who's a creep? We'll be here all day. And Denise Richards is always up to no good.
But I'll go check it out anyway.
You do that.
Why does she always look like she started a rumor that everyone she talks to has a tiny baby tomato penis? I heard that you read gardening magazines to get off. And don't ask advice from a man who gave you another jump scare as a present. He's gonna play dumb no matter what you ask.
So you think it's far-fetched, right? This whole Jeremy Melton Revenge of the Nerds theory.
It's possible. Are there any hidden cameras in your sorority house? Have all of your panties gone missing? Turns out Jeremy's backstory is a lot more dramatic than previously implied.
A year later, he lands in juvenile hall. 6 months after that, a state-run mental hospital. Must have done some number on him at the dance, huh?
Not really. We just said no to him at the dance. Shouldn't he be stalking the bullies who kicked his ass instead? I guess in the previous draft, it did get a little more into him killing the bullies before his stalking of the girls took place, but we needed to make room for new technology. I love how this is supposed to help.
But know anybody that looks like this?
My God, I knew it. Arrest DJ Qualls at once. Wait, hang on. It could also be Topher Grace who did it. Or how about this guy? Oh, very funny. I am very good at Valentine's Day. Thank you very much. Here you go, honey. Heart-shaped donuts. He's got his work cut out for him. Not only does no one have an idea of what Jeremy looks like as an adult for whatever reason, but their love lives are still a mess.
What about the rest of you? Any boyfriends? Paige, for example?
I am telling everyone that you're bald. You wouldn't dare try me. The only normal boyfriend is Kate's here.
We used to work at the same paper. He covers the Giants. His mother's a lawyer. His father's a teacher.
Okay, so clearly the killer. You couldn't pay this detective to give a shit any longer.
And where did you meet him?
At yoga. But it's a very exclusive gym, okay?
If I ever find out who the killer is, I'm letting him off with just a warning. And I'm loving Denise Richards' unnecessary femme fatale take on the character.
Paige, actually, I'd like you to stay a moment.
Uh-oh. Am I in trouble, detective? You want to interrogate me?
I swear she thinks she's still in Wild Things with the other Prescott sister. And why is the detective a creep now?
Tension.
The tension.
Sexual tension.
I'm telling your whole precinct that you put your dick in the Krispy Kremes. But lest you forget, it is Valentine's Day, so just show up at the door after you raced over from remembering what day it was.
Would have been here earlier, but I spent most of the afternoon talking to that detective. It's very romantic, actually.
I heard he puts his dick inside of donuts just like I do. Anyways, I got you this heart-shaped lollipop. I had a free cleaning at the dentist so he wouldn't stop sending me threatening letters. As for her friends, they're gonna surprise her with passive-aggressive gifts, saying her clothes are too wrinkly, and more jump scares. What are you doing just standing in there?
Detective Vaughn is a disgusting, lecherous scumbag.
And I am determined to steal him from his wife. They're still having a girls' night for Valentine's. We're gonna watch more video dating videos and riff on them. Why not? That's what I do on Valentine's Day as well. Ugh, worst Valentine's ever. I could only get 20 of the 30 jets to work in the hot tub. And I only got the $5,000 watch. This movie is so relatable. I'll give you the other half of the watch if we make it to next Valentine's Day. Just kidding, he ain't getting a better watch. I haven't seen lovers look this unsatisfied since Moment by Moment. He plays it smooth. He waits till after the bad sex to give her gift.
Wow.
So that makes up for my dick falling off, right? This guy only exists so we'll temporarily think he's the killer. Like this scene where he suspiciously goes off to a business meeting. You know what that means. He's having a business meeting. That's getting in the way of him doing chores to make up for the bad sex.
We just lost the hot water in the main house. Could you do me a big favor and relight the pilot in the basement?
Crap, yeah, sure, this movie doesn't need me anymore. I'll go do a death scene. Where's the heater at? Oh yeah, it's in this basement that in no way looks like it's part of Dorothy's mansion. It looks like he went across town to check the area where Jigsaw builds his contraptions, and then left because this pigsty is a money pit.
Damn it!
Look what you did, you summoned the lights out ghost behind you. 'Cause here we have another killer who knew someone would go downstairs to check the heater, and he'll kill whoever it is. Campbell here had nothing to do with Jeremy's bullying, but whatever. Someone's gotta go. Or at least I don't think he was one of the bullies earlier. Maybe he was. The movie's too freaking vague. Even the characters forget about previous scenes.
I'm playing phone tag with Brian. Who? Brian? Remember the guy from Turbo Dating?
Oh right, my bad. I forgot that scene even existed. We still on that? Perhaps Dorothy should have used that service. Her boyfriend stood her up on account of being dead. Adam will help.
Everything's fine. It's just that men suck. Well, that's no offense to you, Adam.
None taken.
I'm still gonna kill you. And stand in line, buddy. You ain't the only killer here.
Hey, hot stuff.
You came.
I like how you move.
Let's see if you can still dance if I chop your feet off and put tap dancing shoes on your stumps. Ew, I'm telling everyone that you're into tap dancing. These two seem like they're made for each other. They play dumb on the same wavelength.
What's upstairs?
Something I want to show you. It's a surprise.
It's his dick! Don't believe me? Wait till you see what the Philly Flasher Don Juan does next.
Surprise.
I'm telling everyone that it's a balloon animal. When you're watching a slasher that has no nudity as well as already edited for television death scenes, you know it's something from the 2000s. It's not a PG-13, but much like his erection, it's a soft R, but he called it in wondering what this has to do with those damn tri-lambs. Someone else got liquid heat poured onto their junk. Y'all wouldn't be having such shitty love lives if you simply swiped right for Christ.
Hello again.
Oh no, not this time, metrosexual Charles Manson. But thank God we've resolved the plot line of Hetty Burress getting her stolen items back from that no-good con artist Campbell. After seeing so many of these lately, where the killer is so psychic that he knows the moves of everyone he stalks, complete with teleportation powers, finally we see one mess up and get caught while dragging away a dead body. Oh man, I knew I should have stuck to bumping off people who picked on me and not kill the house staff for no reason. Let's go ahead and take a break. Who cares if we miss a death scene here? It's not like it'll be that good. Are you looking for a gift to give your sweetie that'll make them say, this isn't the only gift you got me, is it? Then you'll want to book an appearance from me over at Cameo. It'll be cheaper than day-old donuts and a bundle of flowers full of bees. Book me now over at cameo.com/the Cinema Snob. Welcome back, people. Has she died yet? Forget what I said. I guess they did spend their whole R-rated budget on this death scene. Bad news, I'm afraid. They think Marquette is the killer, but they had to let him go.
Kate, it's Detective Vaughn. Listen, we have to let Marquette go.
Oh my God, who's Marquette? Oh, it was that guy who was on the date with Shelley. I guess they couldn't get the actor for enough scenes, so happening off camera, they found him, arrested him, let him go, and they're just describing that to all of us. It's good they let him go, though, because, well, the killer is right there at the party, and just when they got all of their jet streams finally working. A toast for this forgotten Bond girl, Valentine's Day Jones. I still don't want her to die. She's consistently the most entertaining of the girls. Obviously a mistake building a spot in the spa for he who walks behind the rose. However, this is the most clever of the death scenes, in that it seems like they had notes for 3 deaths, but combined them into one. Do we want to drown her in the hot tub? No, we trap her and stick her with a power drill. Oh, wait, what if we just get her once with the drill, and then we make it quick and just electrocute her to death? Perfect. Her dying words will be to tell everyone that little Miss Rich Girl couldn't even pay the electric bill. At least one person puts this all together.
Where's Adam?
I don't know. Did you check the wine cellar?
Could be him, you know.
And if it's not Adam, it's at least the stuntman, since we only had Boreanaz for a couple of weeks, so playing the killer is stuntman Marshall Virtue. I hate to see them fight. Just because they've all hated each other the entire film is no excuse for negative energy at the party. You'll need to work together when the killer leaves severed heads in the pond and then reveals himself with low energy.
Hi.
It's you.
It's me.
Duh! This flick is a whole lot of mediocre, but for a movie that's as universally panned as it is, with even the director apologizing for it and Katherine Heigl saying she hates it, I've seen way worse, and recently too. It's a silly movie, but it isn't a fraction as dumb as I Still Know What You Did Last Summer that incorporated fake call-in shows and a random voodoo subplot, and it's not the faux Lifetime movie PG-13 editing nightmare that the Prom Night remake was. This movie's biggest sin is that it's pretty forgettable, and a case of why watch this when either My Bloody Valentine movie is way better. This one doesn't even make much sense. Why is he still this mad about being turned down for the dance? He's aged incredibly well, he seems successful, he has no problem getting dates. That alone should be his best revenge. With this kind of plot line, the killer should have grown up to look more like Melvin Jerkovsky from Screwballs. Overall, it's just a really cynical film. It just wants to use Valentine's Day to get asses in seats, and that's it. We'll stop there. There's no passion or creativity behind anything else. If movies like My Bloody Valentine or Silent Night, Deadly Night are Love Actually, this is more like one of those bad Gary Marshall holiday tie-in flicks. With that being said, if the movie were made later, it could have embraced that. There's moments where I was like, if it really zeroed in on making it exactly like a rom-com you'd see some of these actors in, and then a killer shows up, that could be a clever mixing of the genres, but there isn't enough of that here to make it work. Though I like that they still pull a red herring at the end, like it combines the end of Halloween H2O and the beginning of Resurrection, where, oh my god, was Dorothy the real killer? No, the killer just had enough time to kidnap Dorothy, put the costume on her, and counting on his girlfriend not wondering why he was acting so suspicious. But don't forget the nosebleed earlier, which is only there so that we know that he's the killer. What's gonna happen next? There'll be no sequel to this! And thus ends this holiday horror film, recommended only to those whose other favorite holiday slasher is the April Fool's Day remake. Thanks for watching. Now that I've already watched me and my sweetie's date movie alone, I gotta make it up to her. You know what that means. Heart-shaped pizza.
You brought me up here to show me your penis.